claim he never lost.
Are you a virgin?
Oh, you are hilarious. This is good. You're a virgin! How can you go 40 years and not have sex? I just can't stop trying.
We gotta implement. We can't not let you go on being a virgin. You gotta highlight your attributes. Just wax that whole Teen Wolf thing off.
No! Kelly Clarkson! Help! I hate you! Stop smiling! You look like a man-o-lantern. The problem most men have is they don't know how to talk to women. What am I supposed to say? Nothing. Just ask questions.
Are you looking for something?
Is there something I should be looking for?
We have a great section of do it yourself.
Do you like to do it yourself? What am I talking about? You gotta go somewhere where every girl is looking for a guy. Welcome to Ace of Palooza!
I'm Andy, and you are Gina?
China. Well, what's up?
Okay. I like your shirt.
You're kind of nice. You want to get out of here? See, look how pretty. Look at me. Look at me.
From Universal Pictures.
I'm Trish. Andy, she gave me her number.
My God!
Party's over. Let's let the virgin get back to work.
And the producer of Anchorman.
We've given you all the advice we have to give. Now you gotta put it in action.
Comes a comedy that will touch you
Keep your hands on my belly.
like you've never been touched before.
Yeah, we gonna celebrate.
Hey, you!
Let's get out of here.
Hope you have a big trunk. I'm putting my bike in it.
The 40-year-old virgin.
Well, let's all laugh at the 40-year-old virgin. Well, that will be the movie that I will be reviewing. And this movie came out in 2005. And will this comedy stand the test of time? Is it a classic? And did I enjoy it? Well, we will find out after this.
The Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set with command chair, console, 3 telescreen cards, and 5 Star Trek action figures. Place Mr. Spock or any Star Trek figure into the transporter room. Spin the control knob and press the button. Mr. Spock disappears. Pretend he's left the deck of the Enterprise for outer space adventure. You can capture the Klingon and bring him back to the Enterprise. Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set. Star Trek action figures also sold separately by Mego.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this wonderful commercial. I'm sure you're probably asking why I'm doing a Star Trek action figure commercial. Well, this movie does have something to do with it because Andy, of course, in this movie, 40-Year-Old Virgin, has a lot of collectible toys. So now the toy hunter can now look at this commercial because these toys are also made by Mego, and that guy obsesses over Mego. So I'm sure if he by some off chance watches this, he will enjoy that wonderful commercial. If you haven't watched The Toy Hunter on whatever streaming service I watched it on, probably Prime. He's the toy collector with the girly voice. So moving on, this is 40-Year-Old Virgin starring Steve Carell. I was ready for that. The famous Who. Steve Carell should not need an introduction, but apparently he does. He was in the very popular TV show The Office. Never heard of it. I was close. Never seen. Okay. Well, The Office was a very popular TV show. I don't remember how many seasons he was on for. I want to say maybe the first 9, maybe even more than that. He did leave before it did end. He was also in Anchorman, Anchorman 2, Dinner for Schmucks.
Nope.
He was on an episode of Pawn Stars.
Nope.
I'm missing a big one here. Oh yes, The Big Short. How can I forget? He played a really good part in The Big Short. So that is Steve Carell, and of course he plays the part of Andy, who is the main character, and he is the 40-year-old virgin in this movie. So now we also have I forgot her name already. I think it's Tracy Keener. If I'm not, I don't really. Sorry, Catherine Keener. I had to do my little cheat sheet there. Somebody I'm not really familiar with. I think she was in some episodes of LA Law. She was in other movies as well. Unfortunately, I just haven't heard of any of them. But then we do have the famous Paul Rudd.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul Rudd. He was in. I'll just name some movies that you've heard of. He was in Ghostbusters Afterlife, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I think he started in horror movies, but I can't remember if it was. I got him. My guest wants to leave already. I can't remember what horror movie he starred in. It was either Friday the 13th. I believe it was that one, or it was Nightmare on Elm Street. I get them all mixed up because they're mindless movies. So he was also in I Love You Man. This is 40. He was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Really, really, nope. And I believe he is also married to Leslie Mann.
Who?
She is also in this movie. Okay, so I guess we'll move on to Leslie Mann has a short part in this movie. She was also in This Is 40. She was in Big Daddy and George of the Jungle,
Nope.
just to name some of those movies. Oh, yes, and she was also in Knocked Up with Paul Rudd. She was married to Paul Rudd in that movie. They were the obnoxious couple that always fought. And then it's so yeah. So speaking of Knocked Up, our next creature coming up is Seth Rogen, and he plays the part of Calorie. Oh, I'm sorry, Cal. So yes, Seth Rogen is now a big Calorie king. We know him. I knew him from Freaks and Geeks, which I did like him in that show, and then he just got really interesting with his roles. He was in Zack and Miri. Um, he was actually in the Steve Jobs movie, the one with Michael Fassbender, and he played the part of Steve Wozniak. He was actually good in that movie. Um, so what did I say? Zack and Miri. Oh yes, Pineapple Express. Uh, we reviewed that.
Doesn't mean I watched it.
He was also, of course, in Knocked Up.
Nope.
His sauce. Oh God, Sausage Party. Um,
Nope.
he redid Ninja Turtles and just completely pooped all over it. He was also in Guilt Trip. He wasn't too bad in that. And I know I'm leaving stuff out here, and I really don't care. Oh yes, he was in. Oh, what else was he? Me and you. Yeah, me, you, and Dupree. And I have a brain fart on the other one that I just thought of. Oh yes, super bad. That's it. Okay, my dog is playing with toys and he's got injured hips. This isn't going to end well. So, I am leaving out somebody here. And I believe how you pronounce this game is Romany Melko. Don't ask me who it is because I really haven't seen him in anything else. So he plays a part of Jay, who also works at the electronics store. I'll get into that when I get into the story. Jane Lynch plays Paula, and Jane Lynch shouldn't. Okay. Jane Lynch, I believe she had a small role in The Fugitive. She was in Role Models. Oh yes, Paul Rudd was in that too. And she was also in, I believe, the stupid show was called Glee. Yeah, that was it. Okay. So that is Jane. And then she was on a couple comedy roasts as well. She was on Roseanne Barr's, and she was actually quite funny on that. And then we have Elizabeth Banks as Beth, and she was also in Role Models. She was also in Fred Claus. You've never heard of Elizabeth Banks at all?
Nope.
Just a little teeny tiny bit?
Nope.
Okay, so now I will get into the story. So Andy is. Yeah, it is. Obviously, this guy is a 40-year-old virgin. He had some problems with girls earlier in his life, and he kind of just gave up. But that doesn't mean this character is pathetic. He's actually far from it. It shows him exercise. Ha ha ha! Boy, we're taking some shots at Chipcod Roach very early into this video. I see. So that is perfectly fine. Yes, Chipcod Roach did live alone for a few years.
I was kidding.
And did I live an Andy lifestyle? Well, in some ways I kind of did. Andy does cook for himself. I did the same thing. Um, it does show him working out and in his exercise room. So he did a lot of stuff just by himself. So now he does, on the other hand, he does collect action figures and he keeps them in the box. And my dog Skip is getting upset because he doesn't like to hear that nonsense. Now he does have a video game chair at his age, which is kind of strange, but it does happen. But at least he has fun when he plays. So he does work at an electronics store when they had them. This movie again came out in 2005. DVDs were just just kind of they were a pretty popular thing at this time, and so were DVD players and surround sound systems for that matter. So the electronic stores, of course, were Circuit City was a big one. We had Media Play. I don't know if anybody else heard of that. And then, of course, there was Worst Buy. Um, well, it was. And then stupid Walmart just ended up kind of taking that over. So
Best Buy is still a thing.
it is, but but they were all over the place is what I was trying to get at. Oh yeah, then there was also Radio Shack. They have questions, you have answers. So oh yeah, then there was also Kmart and Hills. Well, nobody's really maybe people don't really know what Hills was either, but that's okay. So and Andy does have a goal eventually of making his own electronics store. Uh, well, obviously, those dreams, Amazon pretty much crushed him on that one. So, so now I will get into the first clip of Wonderful Andy's Morning. So I will show that clip in just a second. Well, so here is the nice little beginning scene of Andy's wonderful morning routine. He gets up a few hours before he has to go to work. This is really starting to remind me of somebody that I know very, very well. So now he does make his breakfast. He also has some of it nicely prepared. So again, I can relate to some of this character already. So he has his little morning routine. Um, and obviously he gets ready to go to the electronics store. So he also had some morning issues, especially urinating in the morning. Now, now that I cannot relate to, but it seems like that he had some morning heartage there. He could have been on Discord and maybe played Grounded and got himself a little too excited. So so he obviously is in for some kind of morning there. So he's kind of walking around with it as well, which was kind of amusing. And then he did his exercises. And then of course he got his little breakfast ready. And then he's ready to go to the electronics store and talk about Survivor with his elderly neighbors. So oh yes, and then he also rode his bike. So now he does not have a car, but at least he gets himself from point A to point B, and he also seems like a very happy person. He's not grumpy. He's not angry. So I really have no problem with Andy and this character at all. He seems like a very happy person, which is really nothing to be ashamed of. So now he will go to the electronics store, and I'm going to show the younger viewers what this was like when you went into a Circuit City or Media Play or I guess Worst Buy at its peak. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Be of service to you.
Well, I was just wondering, what is the difference between them, please?
Well, if I'm photographing someone as fine as yourself, I'm not smoking.
So this is how it was like when you walked into a electronics store. Um, Back in the day, yes, you did have salesmen like that. That is Jay, played by Ramadi. Um, I already forgot his last name. It's not important. By Mr. Baldy there, who just kind of jumps in and tries to get a sale. This did happen many, many times. This is just the way that the salespeople worked when they were on commission.
Not for me.
They never came up to you?
Never been to those stores.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I was trying to get a TV sold to me a few times. Um, Jokes on them. I did have money. They just didn't know it. So, so now the scene here, Andy walks in with his bicycle wheel, and yes, it does come off so it doesn't get stolen. People do steal bikes; it does happen, especially in Detroit and Chicago. So, anyways, he so now he goes behind the desk, and then of course the annoying Seth Rogen is right behind him, and he talks about his mindless trip to Mexico or Tijuana, whatever you want to call it. So now I will show the part here. We get to meet Paul Rudd. Of course, his character name in this is David, and he approaches Paula. And yes, in these stores, this must drive the salespeople crazy because for the most part, they did play the same thing over and over and over again. When I sold DirecTV, the Weather Channel was on. The one older guy I worked with that broke the plasma TVs actually played the Weather Channel when I was working at the flea market, and he would play it all the time. So I understand where he is coming from. So I will show that clip in just a second.
To say to you that if you don't take this Michael McDonald DVD that you've been playing for 2 years straight off, I'm going to kill everyone in the store and put a bullet in my brain.
David, what do you suggest we play?
I don't care. Anything. I would rather watch Beautician and the Beast. I would rather listen to Fran Drescher for 8 hours than have to listen to Michael McDonald. Nothing against him, but if I hear Yamo be there one more time, I'm going to Yamo burn this place to the ground.
So we did have Chinese for dinner. So just remember, forgiveness to others is forgiveness to yourself. So,
Fortune cookie.
so that was so
Change your name.
what to Fortune Chip. So
Sure.
so this is I can actually relate to David in this part here. Uh, this being played over and over again, 8 hours a day for 2 years would drive me nuts because just having the Weather Channel on when I was at the flea market for just a little bit of 5 hours on a Saturday was way too much for me to take. Um, and plus dealing with the circus of moving a plasma TV and putting it face down so all the crystals broke was entertainment in itself. So yes, that did actually happen. So so now well, I'm explaining my little things here at working at electronics store. When I sold DirecTV, we did have a stand at the flea market and we had the TVs around. So he played the Weather Channel. We had to unload them, and he put one of the plasma TVs face down when I told him not to. And when you do that, the bulbs burst. So now you have, yes, the plasmas, yes. Put them face down, they break. And that's what happened. For those who don't know, yes, okay, so Plasma was a flat screen TV. So they had the LCD, and eventually you had the 3D, but yeah, you had the Plasma, the LCD. The Plasmas were not as good; they wore out faster. Gamers would play on those. The only downside is I think what happened was when you paused it or something, the inside of it froze up, so they caused a lot of problems. The picture I think was a little bit better, but the LCDs lasted a lot longer. So moving on. So obviously this part here was kind of funny how David mentioned Beautician and the Beast. I'm not a fan of Judge Apatow, the director in this. This was written by him and Steve Carell. But this line was funny because this is a complete random movie to throw in there, one that I've forgot about, and he had to
Never heard
mention.
of it.
I really haven't either, but just to make a Fran Drescher joke was actually very, very amusing. So yes, I did laugh at this part. So now they do invite Andy for a poker game at the store, which they're not allowed to do. And Andy isn't really much of a rule breaker or a rebel, but David, Cal, and Jay do invite him to play poker because they don't want to really. They are miserable with their lives with their significant others. So Andy, being a single guy who seems to be happy, um, is all for it. Problem is, this is guy talk. So Andy seems to have a problem with that. So I cannot show the part where they're inviting him to the poker game because Judd Apatow likes to put a lot of dysentery mouth into his movies, and the poker game has a lot of it as well. So I will just be showing a still of what that poker game looks like. So I will show that clip in just a second. Or I think that still pretty much summed it up enough. I mean, just look at their faces. So Andy's telling his little story. He should have just kept it very, very simple, but they figured it out within seconds. And let's just say the next day at work, they are just so kind to him. They don't tell a soul. So I will show that clip of him going into work in just a second.
Let the Virgin get back to work.
Andy! Andy, come on! We were just kidding! Alright, Andy, nobody cares that you're a virgin! Don't be such a baby! They were just having fun! They didn't mean anything! Get away from me, David! Wait a minute! Stop following me! Hold up! Oh, I'm gonna have to quit my job.
Almost a Polish Pegasus here. So this is Jane Lynch, very good with the little one-liner here. Let the Virgin get back to work, so everybody knows. Customers are making fun of him. The coworkers are. So what does he do? He runs off, and David runs behind him. And I guess apparently running down an escalator like that takes a lot of energy, from what I was just told. So this is very, very hard to do, but Andy pulls it off very, very well. So this is Steve Carell at his best, running around, yelling, kind of acting like a whiny person here. But obviously he is embarrassed. So now he says that he lives a very fulfilling life. Okay, maybe I'm not relating to this character after all, because now I forgot about this part, and now we get to see Andy's hobbies. So I will show that scene in just a second.
Very fulfilling life.
And now I am making your silver pants blue.
Get some rubber. Come on. Come on. Sakara. Now, pretty lady, around the world, got a weird thing to show you.
Oh, this is wonderful Andy here playing with his instruments, and now I guess he is on his video game chair with his little guns, and not sure if he's on the online thing here, but no,
I that was like in 2005.
I don't remember. No, Xbox Live I think was a thing, in 2003. So he has a little video game chair there, and so now he would be on Discord, probably playing Grounded or Hell Diapers, or Diablo is another one that people play. Oh yes, and Fart Night. So, so there are definitely some. So Andy would obviously kind of branch out and play those games on his wonderful video game chair, which I always think are unnecessary. Um, Most people that need them need about six chairs to sit down. So what? So now he's also singing karaoke, playing his little instrument. And then I don't, I don't really mind him painting those, whatever they are, the lead, toys there, because there actually is a lot of skill involved with that. So that's actually not bad. Obviously, I'm not into at least he's laughing when he's looking at the comic books and not looking at them with a serious mud puppy stare or serious turtle face. So this is what Andy likes to do. So now they have actually taken him to a club to try to so he can have a night of fun with the opposite sex. So he does manage to pick up a very, very very drunk person. So, and even in that, that this is going to be a pretty much a home run. He does tend to really act very, very awkward. So this is Steve Carell playing this part to a T. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Nice.
You have really kind eyes, you know?
Thanks. Your hat is sequins. Your hands are like belt.
What?
Your hands are like belt.
I'm sorry.
That's good.
You're cute.
So this is Andy at one of these wonderful nightclubs. Yes, this does actually happen. People are obviously sitting there drunk, and Andy ends up picking up probably one of the, I think, the drunkest one who was pretty much falling over, which you're not supposed to do because then there was an incident in his car. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Andy has a bike, which they rip on him for. But I don't really see any shame in having a bike. At least he's getting, of course, Seth Rogen made fun of him for riding a bike. Maybe Seth Rogen should maybe exercise with a lot more than just hamburgers and donuts. So, so now Andy obviously is acting very, very awkward when he is talking to this person. I'm going to call her Miss Drunky. So, and this is the actress Leslie Mann. So obviously he's obviously bumbling around, acting very awkward, but he still does manage to walk out with her. But um, he obviously strikes out because of the incident in her car. So they do give him a hard time with this when he does come back to work. Like I said, they made fun of him then for riding a bike. But later on, things do look up because they do sort of kind of match him up with somebody. They have Andy actually help out this lady named Trish, played by Catherine Keener, and so they all anybody could have helped her with her situation finding finding a VHS player, which I guess they still sold in 2005. I do know that they did sell the DVD and VHS player together. So they turn her over to Andy to try to set him up. So let's see how this works. So let's see how awkward Andy tends to act. I will show that clip in just a second.
So what
That really wasn't my thing either.
I don't know. No, I think it's because, I want to maybe look professional and not like a crazy person who's just going to steal all your shit.
I didn't mean anything by that.
No, it's okay. You know what? Come by sometime if you want. Or I don't street that's not empty. Where's my number? So just anytime.
Why do I need your number if you're across the street, though?
I don't really have a good answer for that, Andy.
Well, I have a guest. This is for those who don't know, this is Stimpy. So obviously Andy here has done an okay job, I guess, at making a good impression for Trish here. He could have been a little bit more, I don't know, maybe friendly with explaining the VHS and DVD players, but she still seemed to like him anyway. So maybe acting like a jerk was kind of the deal here. And then, of course, he mentioned her empty eBay store. And then, of course, when she gave Andy her number, he asked why he would need that. And I'm shocked that she just didn't take it back. But I guess acting a little clueless may have been a turn on. I don't know. But he lucked out. And either way, I guess he got her number. I can see a couple of my colleagues probably throwing that number out and not knowing what to do with it as well. And the only difference is at least he did something with it. So, hey, he has a phone number. Good for him. They're associates. So now Andy does ask Jay if he's good looking, and this is where he takes him to get waxed. So his his chest waxed. So this is the famous scene in the movie. So I will get to show part of it. I obviously can't show all of it. And I did hear that Steve Carell was actually in pain during this scene. So I will, and I could just see that, and I'm just laughing at the lady that's doing it now. She looks like she's having a good time, and it's paused on the screen there. So that is what I'm laughing at. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Sweetie Pie! ¿Cómo se llama? No! Kelly Clarkson!
Well, here's the famous scene with him getting his stomach and chest waxed. So I can, I obviously couldn't show this whole scene here, which, yeah, couldn't do it. Sorry. So I do like how the lady doing it is pretty much laughing the whole time. I found that funnier than Andy's comments. I mean, we didn't show it because of the swearing, but he says Kelly Clarkson. In my opinion, that that is swearing because that is a word that I will never say because it's such a horrible word to use on such a talentless music queen. So I yes, not a Kelly Clarkson fan. So he yelled. I don't know what the reason why he yelled. I think that was the first thing that came to his mind because they were actually waxing him in that was actually his hair that they were actually waxing. So that's just what popped into his head. So that's what he that's what he said. So yeah, he did. Yes. He did look like a jack-o'-lantern. I did like how he yelled at her for smiling. So this scene was actually a little bit funny there. So I did enjoy it. Did I laugh as much as most people? Probably not. But it was amusing nonetheless. So now Kale, of course, who's played by the very out of shape Seth Rogen. Well, now he's really out of shape. In this, he was a little bit thinner. So he says to pick up somebody, I guess, easy, somebody that you really don't want to have a relationship with. So the first time when you're actually doing that, you're bad at it, but you don't care because it's he's going to do it with somebody that he doesn't really want to spend any time with. It's just going to be a one and done. So he sees Elizabeth Banks, of course, who plays the part of Beth, that is in a bookstore. So a lot of my associates didn't like going into bookstores, so they would not relate to this scene here. So Andy does. So we will show that clip in just a second.
A great section of do it yourself.
Do you like to do it yourself?
Sometimes, I mean, if the mood strikes.
How is the mood striking you now?
What's your name?
What's your name?
I'm Beth.
Unless you want to be told on. Beth. Wow.
Yeah, so obviously he's going to try to pick her up in the bookstore, and it actually worked. He didn't really say anything. He just asked her a lot of questions, and it actually did seem to work. So Easy Girl at the bookstore seemed to go over actually well. So now I do like how his colleagues at work have their own ideas. So now David has another one. So he's bringing his tapes of goodies over to Andy's house. So I will show part of this clip in just a second.
Probably not supposed to. This is a good show. I just tape it sometimes.
Well, I don't think you understand something, Dave. I don't want this stuff, okay? Because I don't do that much.
What, masturbate?
Yeah. Hobby of mine.
Well, then that's the only hobby you don't have.
No, seriously, I just don't feel comfortable talking
You
about it.
need to. You're wound up. You're like one of these action figures, all hermetically sealed in your box. You gotta play with.
Don't take it out. I'm sorry. You know what? It's just, it loses its value if you take it out of its packaging.
I'm just saying, let.
Well, here's the part here. David is giving Andy some wonderful tapes of golden goodness. So he's got some interesting material in there, and yes, these are VHS tapes. And there's also thrown into this mix is Everybody Loves Raymond. So spoiler alert: Andy watches that the longest. So Everybody Loves Raymond goes in his VCR pretty quick. So, but before that, obviously he's mentioning his action figures. So I'm sure when somebody mentions that they're going to a park, he takes a picture of his wonderful action figures instead. So, what he tells him is to take it out of the packaging, but I guess Andy doesn't want to do that because I guess it ruins the value. And I guess he mentions that something to do with those videotapes is the only hobby he doesn't have. So that comment was actually kind of amusing. I got a little chuckle out of it, especially when David wakes up his neighbors, his elderly neighbors upstairs. So that was actually kind of funny. So so Andy ends up putting on candles, his pajamas, only to watch Everybody Loves Raymond. Well, at least I guess he got a laugh out of it. So now the next scene here, they actually try speed dating. So I will show you that still in just a second. Well, unfortunately, I had to do a still here.
Yeah, they don't know how to dress.
Apparently, yes, there was some slippage going on there. There was a wardrobe malfunction. So I did a still here, and there's a reason why I picked this one. First of all, I was showing that this is a speed dating scene, and this is David and his ex girlfriend, and David is trying to get back with his ex girlfriend. So then it shows him at the end of it. He has a cigarette, and he's also taking shots. So now he's going back to work, drunk. So he decides to get really loaded, and let's just say that he tends to put something other than her whatever guy was singing on the TV. He decides to show a different movie, his butt. So I will not show his butt, but I will show what Paula calls it, or what Jane Lynch with her one-liners. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Take a look at your pal. Oh my God. Yeah, he's for public calling for the day, and you're gonna fill in for him.
What? Selling things? I don't think that's
Oh,
Wait, well, I'm sorry for the whole butt here. I guess we did show David's colonoscopy. So obviously Jane Lynch there with the nice little one-liners in this movie. Um, I actually found her to be one of the funniest characters in this, believe it or not. Um, so now she put Andy on the sales floor. So now he has to actually talk to people and try to sell them something. Um, Now I know what you're all thinking. Yes, David probably would not have a job if he did this, obviously, in public.
In real life.
In real life, he would not have a job unless you worked at for what I did. Working at DirecTV, there was pretty much no rules. They would probably just give you a slap on the wrist. But at most places like this, yeah, you would definitely lose your job in a second. So, so obviously, Andy is going to try to sell merchandise. Not a bad gig at all. Obviously, he is terrified, which I do understand. When I was first doing it, it is kind of nerve wracking at first. So, unfortunately, so David tries to set him up with somebody else. Actually, they all do. It ends up not really going his way. Let's just say it's it's a service of some kind that is pretty much a slam dunk when you're trying to lose your virginity, but it ends up backfiring, and now Andy is mad. So I will show that clip in just a second.
she was amazing. Because her hands were as big as Andre the Giant's, and she had an Adam's apple as big as her balls.
So you have no proof.
You know what? Just leave me alone. Just stay.
I like this little joke here about she had the hands of Andre the Giant. Actually, this whole scene was funny because I just love how he was just yelling at everybody. He told Dave to shut up, which was kind of amusing. And so now they keep saying that they're his friends and yada, yada, yada. So finally, he just kind of, what they told him was he didn't have the guts to do it himself. So eventually, he just gets fed up and now he goes across the street to the eBay store. And so I will show that little clip in just a second.
Hi.
Andy, hi.
Right, yeah. You remember my name.
I did. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? I like your store.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, if you have time to look around,
Okay. How's business been?
it's coming along. I mean, it takes a while.
Do you want to go out sometime?
Yes, I would like that. That'd be great. I think I'm maybe free this weekend if that's okay. Or you could call me tomorrow and we can just firm it up.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Oh, good. No Polish Pegasus. So this is the final clip that I'm going to show. Yes, I know that there is still a lot more of this movie left. I think this was a very, very long comedy. So he does end up asking her out. They go on a date, and yes, this little pudgy freak is Jonah Hill. So I'm not sure if this was his first movie or not, but yeah, this is Jonah Hill with his nice sparkling boots that he wants to buy. I don't think he was acting. I think those are boots that he would wear around the house. I forgot that Jonah Hill was in this movie. Who is Jonah Hill? Oh, just a really annoying actor. He hasn't been in anything in a while, thank God. But he was in Accepted, Super Bad, Knocked Up. He was in a lot of movies with Seth Rogen. This is the End. Wolf on Wall Street. The Sitter. 21 Jump Street. He was in he was in more than that as well. I never liked him. So there he is with the nice sparkling boots, and of course he couldn't buy them. So Trish had to deal with him when Andy left, so now Andy has a date. So now that this is the final clip, you're going to have to watch the end of this movie for yourself. So now to get to the review part. So yes, I did get some chuckles out of this. Is this a all-time comedy classic? Not even close. Yes, I know. It's probably not going to be the most uh, popular review, but it's like I said, I got chuckles. This wasn't horror. I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm still going to give it a B minus. It's the story isn't bad. The acting really isn't that horrible. Steve Carell was great. Jane Lynch was great. Seth Rogen was Seth Rogen. This was the start of his obnoxious career. Unfortunately, Jonah Hill had a cameo, but Paul Rudd was all right. I always forget his name. Romani, who plays Jay, was okay. He wasn't bad. So some of the outbursts were actually really funny. Leslie Mann did okay with the little appearance she was in. Elizabeth Banks was kind of funny. So there were parts in this that were actually enjoyable. And for a 2005 movie, this isn't bad. I'm actually shocked that I have a movie from 2005 in my collection, and I'm keeping it. So, it's not a bad movie. Would I recommend it? I would slightly recommend it. I think there's a lot of people that would actually like this. Um, Obviously, the story isn't bad. I remember when people were actually wanting to do this. Generation Boring might have a problem with this. Some of the language in this. There are some words in here that they might be really sensitive to, so that's why I kind of left them out. This is also a family-friendly channel, and this is not exactly the most family-friendly movies. This is not one that you would watch with your parents if you would not want to do that. So, or your children for that matter. Um, so yeah, it's one that I would slightly recommend. There's also a lot of dialogue too. So if you have a loud relative or pet, you would have to do a lot of rewinding. And this is also, I believe this is, like I said, this is almost 2 hours long, which for a comedy is actually a very, very long movie. Um, So that is actually something that is good. But Judd Apatow is also directing this, and he does good and bad. So it's not one of my favorites, but it's not one that's awful either. It's not like Pineapple Express or Zack and Miri. This is actually a very, very watchable movie, and it's got enjoyable parts to it. So there's no capes and lasers, but lots of action figures and video games in this as well. So subscribe if you want. Please comment below, and thank you very much for watching.